Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Oh, Lori, I'm going to be going for a walk today. You want to come with me?
No, I have an appointment with my girlfriend to have a breakfast, and after that I go by the yard.
Okay, so I'll see you. I'll give you a call later on, tell you where I'm at, and we'll get together. Let's have lunch together.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Good morning. Okay, let's start our little walk today. It's a beautiful day. I hear the birds singing. That happens every morning. And so I just want to point out how beautiful the bougainvilleas are behind me here as I walk. And I'm going to swing around here, show you this big home over here. Just give you an idea of Mexico and what some of the homes look like here. So, well, what I want to talk about today is that I had an interesting phone conversation. I don't know if you know this, but I do a private phone consultation, and that's something you could sign up for if you wanted to. At the end of the videos, usually it'll say book now, and if you press on that, it would then send you a link where you can sign up to have me call you back. Now, because it's morning and there's a lot of traffic, people are going to work, we're going to hear some trucks going by. So, today's topic, I had an interesting conversation with a couple that wanted to come down here. He's 70, she's 65, and she had more concerns. He really wants to come down here, and he wants to retire. So, some of the questions that they asked was, but mainly the main emphasis of the question started out with, where is a good place to live in Mexico? And of course that's subjective. It depends on what you want. And so I asked him, I says, well, what areas have you checked out? What areas have you done some research on that maybe you would like to live in? And they said, well, Guadalajara would be one place. San Miguel Allende would be another one. And Puerto Vallarta would be another one. And so we looked at the pros and cons on all of those there. So she was concerned because they like culture and they like to go to the symphony and stuff like that. Well, Guadalajara is probably your best choice for that because, you know, they have a symphony, they have an opera, they have a lot of cultural activities there because it is the second largest city in Mexico. So it makes sense that they'd have a lot of different variety of things that you could participate in. So we looked at that. Then we looked at San Miguel Allende, beautiful city. You have the real colonial feeling there. And we talked about weather in these areas. San Miguel, it's higher up than, let's say, Guadalajara, and so it's a little bit cooler during the winter months. And you're talking about, you know, maybe the coldest, maybe somewhere around 40 degrees at night, and then typically it'll warm up to about 75, you know, during the winter months, you know, say January and February. Looked at Puerto Vallarta and what it had to offer there. It is a good area also because you have a lot of conveniences, and both of them have that, you know, like hospitals and medical care and stuff like that. Very important. The other thing that between Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, they have international airport that's very convenient to get to. So one of the things that I will tell people is that, you know, to look at a few places, you know, check it out online, look at videos, YouTube videos and stuff, and see what seems to be appealing to you. And then if you can come down and let's say spend maybe 3 weeks, and maybe you can go to each one of those locations for a week at a time, then you can really check it out and see what's going to work for you, because everybody's, expectation is different. So by being there and seeing, what it looks like. So they took that suggestion, so that's what they're going to do. They're going to come down and then check out the 3 areas for them. Another thing that she was concerned about is public transportation. And so Mexico has good public transportation, and also they are able to visit those cities by taking the buses that are very, very well maintained here, the cross-country buses. In fact, they have like Wi-Fi on them. The seats are very comfortable. It's almost like riding business class in an airplane today, the seats and everything. So very safe. So that's what they plan on doing. We'll be using the bus system to get around to those 3 areas there. Let's look at the visa part of it, because that was probably the most important thing, because they may not have been able to qualify or even live in Mexico. Well, the husband, he had adequate money. He had $2,700 a month income coming in monthly, and he could show that in a 6-month bank statements to immigration. But she didn't have that. She only had $350 a month, so she was short. And they were concerned, well, he can qualify at 27, and they thought that she had to qualify at 27. Well, they do have a program here. If you're married and you have a valid marriage license and everything, you can prove it, then you can, that second person can qualify between $700 and $900 a month. So they don't have to show an income of $2,700. So they had some rental income, and they said, well, we could use that, could we? And I said, yeah, if you can show that going in monthly. Motorcycle going by, I'm on the street, so we'll just deal with that stuff here. But so they went, great. Now they were really satisfied. So they told me right now, they said, we feel we've gotten our money's worth already, just knowing that, because they were afraid that they wouldn't be able to come down here and qualify. So they were very happy with that. The other thing that her concern was, because they don't speak Spanish, what if they, needed somebody to assist them? She was asking, could she hire a taxi driver to take them, to places? Yes, you can do that, and people will do that. Another thing is that in major areas where expats live, there's always a concierge type of person that has started a little business. They typically, of course, they're going to speak Spanish, and then they speak English, and they can take you, let's say if you wanted to apply for a driver's license, or maybe you wanted to, go to the immigration office, or even go, let's say, to a medical care, and you wanted to make sure that they were able to understand you. And so you can hire people that have little concierge services. Another thing that she was concerned about was, how can she meet people? Excuse the cars. I'm on the street, so nothing I can do about it. How can she meet people? Well, a lot of people, what they do is they get on Facebook, and then they, in the area they'd like to live in, let's say Puerto Vallarta, and then they will look for Facebook groups for expats. So it would be an expatriate Facebook, say newbies in Puerto Vallarta, expats move to Puerto Vallarta, stuff like this. So if you do a search on Facebook, then you can ask a lot of questions in there, because the people are living there, and you can make friends. And then this way it's sort of you come in, and then maybe you know a couple people that you can, sit down with them and talk to them, and then make friends. And it's very easy here in Mexico to make friends. So that's a good idea, is using Facebook. She was asking about, say, going to the store, and I asked, well, how how about walking? Can you walk? Are you capable of walking and stuff? She said, well, a little bit, but walking is not her favorite thing to do. And so she says, well, if I want to go to the store, say, and buy stuff, and it was too much stuff to carry home. And I said, well, you could just have a taxi. You could hire a taxi to take you to the store, and then they'll wait for you, and then you come out. So taxis are quite popular here. Also, Uber is popular in those particular cases of San Miguel, Puerto Vallarta, and Guadalajara. No problem with Ubers in those areas. So that would be the other thing they were concerned about, convenience to airports. Well, Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, is your most convenient cities to live in, being around airports. Another thing she was concerned about, landing in an airport. How would they get to their Airbnb or their hotel, and how safe is it? Well, the airports are really safe. They have it set up where you're not going to get taxi drivers, that aren't licensed and sanctioned by the airport. So everybody that uses a taxi service at the airport knows that it is a safe way of going. You just get off of the airplane. There's usually a taxi stand. You pay the taxi stand where you're going to go. He'll tell you how much it is. And then you're not dealing with money with the taxi driver, unless you wanted to tip them. So it's very safe. Don't worry about that. The other aspect was she was concerned about if she got into trouble. I've never been asked that question. She was wondering about the court system here. Well, in Mexico is not known for people suing people here. In fact, they don't sue people. Like you hear people get, crazy about suing people over things. So it says you don't really have to run into that problem here. 50 years of traveling here, I've never run into anything like that. But one of the things that we do is we have an attorney, and we carry that attorney's card with us, just in case something happened. Maybe we were driving, or we who knows? Just say something happens, and we were having to go to court, or we would have to be, let's say, go into the police department, something like that. Then we would have that card, contact the attorney. He would then send either himself out or a representative, and then they would take care of it for you. So we carry a card like that. Never had to use it, but it's just a protection. So I was telling them, when they found a place that was convenient for them, they felt they wanted to live there, then at that point they could contact an attorney and just make a contact, and then they would know, and they could have that attorney's card with them. Yeah, we had a great conversation, and they were saying that they were so happy because that little information about qualifying for a visa here, they could qualify because they did have the money to qualify, as long as she could qualify under that $700 to $900, and that would be no problem with that. Another thing that they weren't quite clear on, the visas. Let me go over that with you. So there's basically three types of government paperwork, let's call it that, to come into Mexico. One of them is a FMM tourist card, okay? That is good usually for 180 days. The next one is a temporary visa. And a lot of people get those two mixed up. But a temporary visa is good up to 4 years. And the other one is a permanent visa. And that's going to be good, once you qualify, that's good, forever. So they didn't quite understand that. So we went over that. So they got clear on that. So what I recommended to them is, before they even apply for the temporary visa, why don't you come down here use the FMM tourist card where you come down for, let's say, 3 weeks and you check out the areas. Now, with the immigration has started to crack down on the 180-day allotment here. So what I recommended them to do is, if they have a, let's say they're going to go to 3 places and they have 3 reservations already set up, maybe 3 Airbnbs, get a copy of those reservations and coming across in the flying in, present it to the immigration and tell them you're going to be here 3 weeks. You'd like to have, 21 days, 28 days. Show them your paperwork, your receipts from these Airbnbs, and maybe even show them your return ticket going back. You will not have any problem doing it that way. In fact, rather than for them to fill out and go through all of the stuff to see about qualifying for the temporal visa, if they first come down, what they can, and they didn't even know that, they come down and they can then see if Mexico is right for them, because Mexico is not right for everybody. And so especially she had a lot of very much concerns about safety and how comfortable it was and stuff like that. So hey, well, this is my little wrap for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, why don't you make a comment? Also, if you would like to book a private consultation, we can do that. At the end of the video, you'll see a little icon pop up and it'll say book now. Touch on that and then you can book an appointment with me. We'll go over 50 minutes of answer any questions that you have, and I definitely know I'll save you a lot of money and that. So hey, it's only $38. I mean, come on. What can you get for 38 bucks? And well, okay, make a comment, give me some feedback how you like these videos. And this is a walk with me in Mexico. Jerry Brown here.